Hi, folks. I hope you're all having a wonderful start to the holiday season. This is NiteLife Exchanges, and we are here to discuss things that are happening in the nightlife with cabaret. And we are here tonight. We have a special guest, but let me bring our my esteemed colleague first onto the set with me. Tony, are you there?
I am always here for you, Scott.
I know. I love you, Tony.
Love
We've
you
been
back.
doing these. We've been doing these, and we're back at it. And today we have a special guest, somebody that's created a lot of stir over the last couple of years with performances, and he's a very creative fellow. No wallflower, this guy. No wallflower by any means. So let's bring on Sean Patrick Murtagh.
Well, hello there. Oh,
there you
go.
Yeah,
do you like my little switcheroo there?
I didn't realize we were dancing.
In the center. Guess in the center.
Be in the middle.
Toasty dough.
As we say, we like to make a ham sandwich here. And
ta-da!
There you are. So, hi, man. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. How are you guys? Good to see you again.
We're doing well, Tony. We're doing good, right, Tony?
Yeah. It's a holiday season, and we got some time to spend with a friend and anybody else who shows up to enjoy.
Loving that.
It's a great day.
So we're recording here for NiteLife Exchanges, and this is an interview with you. We're trying to find out what you've been up to, though I do know what you've been up to, as to probably a lot of the people that are going to be watching this now, because you've done a really good job of promoting lead-in.
I'm not shy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not shy.
No room for shy.
About this project. Tell us about this project that you just did the release party for at Green Room 42.
Yeah, I did my debut album, which I feel like it's been a long time coming, but sometimes everything just has to be right and aligned for it to fall into place. And so I have a little product placement. I have my my album. Everything's in reverse, so I'm trying to there we go. I'm trying to cut your own hair in the mirror. The Mario 101, which is my debut album, and it's really important to me. I did, as you guys know, back before the pandemic, I had my big debut singing Mario Lanza, and then I won an award for it. And then as momentum was building, everything shut down, and we were stuck at home. And it's nice. I found a way, just like you guys did, for the community to keep the music going, and that road eventually led to this album. So really excited about that.
We were really
congratulations.
You were a favorite of ours to come on to when we were doing Piano Bar Live, because it's always the energy level. You're not as I said, you're not a wallflower. You are somebody that pops off the screen as well as on a stage. Now that you're back on a stage, and you were on that stage at Green Room 42 with Yaz, who is one of the. I mean, he's everywhere right now, playing everywhere. So tell us a little bit about how the two of you connected and put this project together.
Yeah, so my music director for this project is Yasuhiko Fukuoka. Very few people can say it correctly, so he just says, "Call me Yaz," and we do. But he's really wonderful, and his start was in scoring for motion pictures and film. And just started dipping his toe in the cabaret world. I met him back in 2017 in a drag show. A friend of mine, Ruby Powers, used to do these lineups at Bar Talia up on the Upper West Side in Symphony Space, and we just bring in her friends to do a lineup of singers. And Yaz was a music director for a few of those, and so we kept in touch. And when I was looking to find the right person for this album, a friend of mine, Robbie Roselle, who works with Yaz as well, said, he has his own studio. He's classically trained. There's no other choice for you to work with anybody else but him. And it was nice that we knew each other and we liked each other. We knew each other's work, and so it just kind of when things are right, they just fall into place. And so it was really a wonderful coming together.
That's incredible. Where was it recorded?
Actually, in his apartment in Hell's Kitchen. He has one of those amazing Hell's Kitchen apartments where it's kind of like that shotgun thing all the way back, and then it opens up to a palace. And one of the wings of this Hell's Kitchen Palace has a studio in it, and he actually got a brand new booth at the beginning of the summer, and this album was the one that christened that booth, and nobody was allowed to use that booth until after this album was done. Wow. Which, if you want to make a tenor feel real good about themselves, that is the way to treat them.
Nice. And
we all need to treat our tenors well. So thank you for the tip. Thank you.
So he's available right now. He's available in the middle of in Hell's Kitchen in Manhattan. And folks, if you are looking for a recording studio and you're looking for a musical director, I mean, he's really been popping up all over the place. And yeah, you are definitely.
And he does the engineering. He does the engineering. He does the mastering. It really is everything. And he will even make charts for what you come up with, because he's very much like every singer should have their own stamp, and not necessarily what they download from the internet or what's published. Like, you need to have your own stamp on the music, which is really his stamp.
A wonderful collaboration, you guys. It sounds great. And I think that, like I said, it harks back to, obviously, it's the music's going back decades now, because that's when the career, Mario Lanza's career, it was really pretty much the 50s.
Yeah.
And a little bit into maybe the early 60s. So how did you first, when did you first hear his voice? When did your voice get to that point where you said, wow, I can do this?
I'm still working on that part. Those are some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, they
are. I first became acquainted with Mario Lanza as an entity, as an icon, in San Francisco. My voice teacher at the time, Richard Nicole, was this amazing tenor who did the tour of Les Mis. He did the tour of Cats. Any big operatic role in a musical, he was there. And then he ended up going naturally to opera. And he opened this studio in San Francisco and was the go-to voice teacher. And I worked for him in exchange for voice lessons and became his protege. And one day he looked at me and I was like, something's up. And he asked me if I knew who Mario Lanza was, and I didn't. So that lesson came to a screeching halt, and changed everything. And I heard Mario Lanza and I was like, that, me? Because in college I was trained to be, a character tenor and like not that romantic voice. And he said, no, that is you. You don't have to be Mario Lanza, but you have to find that for yourself. And it kind of set the wheels in motion. It's really about, I took some time off from the classical world, but it really is, really not trying to be somebody else, but using Mario as the goal to be. My voice is my voice. And even if I wasn't a tenor, if I was a soprano or an alto or whatever people's voice are, it doesn't really matter. It's about the inspiration. What motivates you to be a better singer and expressive. And Mario just, from beyond, really connects with me like very few singers do. And so it just, I do go away and I do other things, but I always end up back at Mario. So it's great to really come together, and all that I've done to really have it culminate in this. Is culminate a word? I don't know. I'm a tenor. In this.
It's a great word.
I speak 2 languages.
Let's not even talk about it anymore. Tony, we have a clip from the show at Green Room 42. So let's hear a little of that voice. That, like I said, it's an incredible voice you have. So let's go live here.
But you all be the judge. You all be the judge.
Be my love, for no one else can end this yearning, this need that you and you alone create. Just fill my arms the way you fill my dreams. time. Dear my love, and with your kisses.
Character tenor, right? That's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. And that's the song, right? That is unmistakably, when people hear that song, they're going to hold you up to Lanza, and that's why that song means so much to me, because that's him, that's his.
And that was obviously was a major hit when it came out. Of course, people listened. There was a star power that existed in those days, and he had a troubled career. There was a lot of things that could have been better for him, but they knew when they had him that they had somebody that would draw an audience, and it was kind of a newer audience. Obviously, Caruso was the early beginnings of getting the Italian audience interested in listening to the music and going out, and then of course seeing shows, because then they were into I'm sure, I don't know all of it, but I'm guessing he played plenty of rooms, and I'm sure they trotted him through Vegas and worked things for them. The companies that had these artists working for them worked them pretty hard.
Yes.
And so I know that you don't really go into too much of his life, but anybody that's interested in seeing how things worked in those days and how things are somewhat better now, since many people have control of their own destinies, as opposed to working in the studio systems and in the record company systems.
Well, and these artists were really the guinea pigs. Hollywood was still becoming something, and for some it worked out well, and for others, they just were testing the limits of what they can do, and it created this platform. But it was a lot to do, and it's amazing. Even though things were rocky and Hollywood wasn't always kind to him, he died at 38, and the amount, like the body of work, the songbook, which is during the pandemic, one of the pandemic years, I did a series presenting 100 songs from his songbook, and that barely scratches the surface. He recorded everything, all kinds of music. He really brought opera to people's homes, and he brought it to, I say, he sang Cole Porter, but he didn't change his voice for Cole Porter. It was that marriage of the artist and the material. Like, what does an operatic tenor have to bring to So in Love or Begin to Begin? Like, all these really beautiful things. And so, whereas Hollywood was not kind to him, and it took its toll on his personal life, what he left behind, I say, he died over 60 years ago. And here we are in New York City talking about him. That's a legacy. That's an icon right there.
And he kept a sense of humor. Throughout.
Yeah.
And some of that is in some of the music and song. And I grew up in the New York area, and so we had a very large Italian population in New York, and you grew up in San Francisco, another town with a very large Italian population. And some of the novelty things that he did spoke directly to those immigrant groups that were only maybe first and second generation, but their parents and their grandparents were listening. And so we have another number. Now, this one we could talk about after, but this is an example of the humor of how the music and the humor came together and gave to that generation.
Yeah.
Now back to me. Le alma della terra e la montagna, lo passo in cielo, lo passo in cielo. Se vede Francia approcci dalla Spagna, io vengo a te, tirato con la funna di un fatto, cielo se va, se va come hanno dietro all'intrassato, quasi egli sa, yamma, ancoppa, yamma, ancoppa, funiculi, funicula. Ancora yamma, ya funiculi, funicula. Yamma, yamma, ancora yamma, ya. Yamma, yamma, ancora yamma, ya funiculi, funicula, funiculi, funicula.
Nice note.
Thank you.
Nice note. So
That's quite a sing-along.
There's an example.
It's the best. It gets, I mean, especially when you're doing this material, which is very ballad heavy and very dramatic, having something like that to break it up and to bring the audience in. And, like you mentioned earlier, nowadays we talk about, and we're having these conversations again about how representation matters. And that's not new. That has been true for, our entire existence. And who Mario was, not just for the Italian American community, but for any immigrant, any hyphenated American. I am an Irish American. I'm a Central American, a Latino American. So I always try to bring my culture forward in everything I do. And Mario had this stage, and he did well. And especially for back then, because Italians, were not treated well in society back then. To have this star singing the music that, oh, that's Neapolitan music. Who's singing Neapolitan music? Why is that on the radio? That was monumental. Like that to really do that and to be that source of pride for people to look up and be like, hey, I'm Italian. Hey, I'm to have that to look to.
Yeah, and in New York it was WMCA that played all of that music at that time in New York, and they absolutely fed the Italian community with plenty of joy. And that song, I mean, I never learned Italian because in the generation that I grew up in, we were told to speak English. You're going to be American, and the Italians that our parents and grandparents used it as a code to talk around us. They would speak in Italian. But so that song is about the funicula, which is basically an elevated type of to go up the side of the mountain on it.
Yeah.
And that's all otherwise it was just the sound was enough.
Yeah.
To say, okay, and grandma would be tapping.
Exactly.
Clapping.
Exactly. It is a love song, but it's a silly love song. Like it's a little bit like a Neapolitan version of Jack and Jill. We're going up the hill. We're going, on the funicular up the hill. It's great to bring people in with that song. It's fun, and even if you don't know it, you say yamma yamma da da da. I tell people, grab your napkins, because when the napkins get twirling, that's when you're doing it right.
But of course, this generation now, the new people that are in there and out there, hey, learn that other language, learn the family language, learn as many languages as you can. That is absolutely is going to serve you well and helps blend. It's the blend of all of it that comes together. Nothing is, So let's talk about. You have something coming up for the shows for the Mario 101 are done at the moment. The release is out there. Everybody can buy that where?
You can buy it on iTunes. You can stream it on Spotify. Everything on my link tree. You can find where to bring you to my website. If you want a physical copy, you can contact me from my website, and I will send you a signed copy. You can do that. What I've been telling people to do is, because I really want this to be successful, so buy it on iTunes, but listen to it on Spotify. And even when you go to bed, put it on loop and just put your phone on mute. We're going to get those numbers going.
There you go. And so people that want to see you, though, people that want to see you live, they're going to be bringing a show out, and you're going to give a treat to your hometown.
Yeah.
You're going home to San Francisco with a holiday show. So tell us a little bit about what you have coming up.
Yeah, so I have my holiday test drive, which was my pre-cabaret debut in San Francisco many years ago. Lenny Watts and Stephen Ray Watkins actually helped me shape this one. It was this thing to kind of like get my feet wet, go home, do a little Christmas show. Your family's going to love it. You'll feel like a star, and then come back to New York and get back to work. And so I went into the show, and then 6 years later, I did my New York show. But what happened was it just became a San Francisco staple. It became a tradition where you bring, Shawnee Boy, are you bringing your show back? Are you bringing your show back? And every year, people just kept coming, and they would bring friends, they would bring coworkers. And I describe it as my holiday newsletter set to music. And so people come to hear me sing holiday songs and tell stories about what I've been up to, and also share old, embarrassing, funny, cringeworthy family stories. You know, I come from a large family, Irish and Central American, so Christmas is anything but quiet in our household. So yeah, I'll be at Martuni's on December 18th at 4 p.m. and Tuesday, December 20th at 7 p.m. And tickets are still available. Sunday is getting close to selling out. Tuesday, there's still a little room. And it's just a great time. And it's the 10th anniversary, which from being a show that was just to get my feet wet in the cabaret world, that it's become a tradition, its own holiday tradition. I am my own Hallmark movie. So.
And for those folks that don't know, I mean, we met a lot of great people at Martuni's during Piano Bar Live. Tony and I went back there a couple of times, including what we had, Katya Smirnoff Sky, who's gonna. I'm
the Countess. The
Countess. So you have to, if you're in that area, make your way to San Francisco. Even if you can't get into one of these sold out shows now, try to get a ticket. But otherwise, support Martuni's. It's an incredible venue out there that's building, that gives us a place to have piano bar cabaret, the stuff that we really love on the West Coast. And it really is the premier location in San Francisco, right?
It's the heartbeat of San Francisco cabaret. And if you come to the show and you say that you came because of NiteLife Exchanges, I will give you a free one of these signed.
There you go.
I will sign it, and
tickets.
So get your ticket. Say you got it through NiteLife Exchanges, and you will get I'm working in reverse. A free CD signed, which, you know, by the time that this wins a Grammy, that might be worth something. So, got to speak it into reality, right?
Visualization, man.
Definitely, that's the way to do it. So listen, Sean, have a wonderful holiday coming up. All of whatever it is that you're celebrating, everybody needs to.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is. This is the year that everybody needs to really get back onto finding that joy that is the holiday and family and everybody being together in celebration. This is the time, and we look forward to your next shows in New York so that we can see you again. You're going to let us know as those things develop, you know, what the
early next year. I will have plenty of announcements, and you know,
Your inbox there. You heard it here.
Listen, you do a great job of pre-promoting stuff, I have to say. You're really right on with that. So, all right.
Thank you. Happy holidays to both of you, and 2023. Just to see both of you in person again would be really lovely. So
that's great.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Congratulations on everything, and have a great holiday, Sean.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you too.
And here we go.
Want the closing credits?
Yeah.